So 19 and a half years ago, my wife at the time was pregnant, and I was working. I was an engineer for Amtrak. And I decided to work overtime, and I got a call. I got a call from the doctor's office. Basically, my wife was going in for a test, and got a call from the doctor's office that that she was going to go to the hospital. She needed to go to the hospital. And long story short, she goes to the hospital. She was pre-eclamptic. Her blood pressure was up, and I get to the hospital about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And at this time, the baby's only 6 months. She's in her 6th month. And preeclampsia is followed by eclampsia, which is followed by coma, which is followed by death. So that's what they just told me. So if they don't get this under control, my wife's going to die, is what's going on in my head. And the only way to cure it is to take the baby out. So they do a test, and they find out the baby's about 1 pound 14 ounces. And I'll never forget this phrase. There's a reverse diastolic flow, and you don't have to be a doctor to know that's not a good thing. So they say the baby's going to be, it's not going to go to full term. It's like, okay, well, what are you talking about? 2 or 3 weeks? They're like, no, like today. Like, holy shit. So really, I'm in no man's land. I don't know, completely unfamiliar territory. Scared out of my wits. And my wife needs me to be, the rock, and to be able to look at her and say everything's going to be okay. And I was doing that at one point as we were going to go into the OR for the delivery. And I'm holding on to the bed, and my knees are just, my legs are jello. My knees are shaking. I understood where that phrase comes, so scared my knees were knocking. I lived it. And the nurse says to me, are you going to come into the OR? And I said, yeah. And what I really thought, what was going on in my head is, well, this is the only time I'm going to see my son alive. Well, I didn't know it was my baby alive. I didn't know it was a son. I knew when they took the baby out, it would be alive. I didn't know 1 pound 14 ounces, babies don't live at that size, right? I mean, that's what I thought. So they give me the scrubs. I go into the bathroom, and I'm just, every cell in my body is quivering. I'm shaking. And I lean back on my Catholic school training, and I got down on my knees, and I said, God, give me the strength to deal with whatever your will is. Like that, the shaking stopped. So we had Ryan was born 1 pound 12 ounces, and today is in good health, 19 and a half years old, and everything that comes with that. So I was good, one kid, miracle baby they call them, but my wife was one of 12, so she couldn't have an only child, had to have another baby. So the doctor said, what happened in the first one shouldn't happen on the second one. Let's go for it. And it'll be a high-risk pregnancy. We'll watch. So you get pregnant again. And at approximately 24 weeks, 22 weeks, you had a sonogram. They said, come back next week and pack a bag. We went back in the week, and the baby had only grown 1 day in the week. So what she had now was what they call IUGR, in utero growth retardation, and the baby wasn't growing. One of the doctors kind of suggested an option of terminating the pregnancy and trying again. And if we didn't have, if I didn't have a miracle baby at home, it's just I couldn't. There's no way I could do that. And so we moved forward, and Nicholas was born, and he was 1 pound 2 ounces. It's a lot smaller. Doesn't sound like much, but it's 2/3 the size. And Ryan's thigh was my pinky. So Nicholas was born premature. He's in the hospital at 1 pound 2 ounces. Actually, he went down a little bit. I got a 2.5-year-old at home. 5 weeks after Nicholas was born, my wife Andrea has a stroke. They call it a postpartum stroke. Apparently, after women give birth, their blood gets a little thicker. Her blood formed a clot in her right carotid artery, and she had a stroke, and she was left paralyzed on her left side. Her left arm completely paralyzed, her left leg partially paralyzed. So, one of the things I'm most proud of in my life is that, through that time, I never once asked myself the question, why me? And this was like before I was kind of going on my own journey. And I got lucky through all of that. Why I asked the question, why I said the prayer, give me the strength to deal with it. I didn't ask for them to live. I didn't ask for what I wanted. I just wanted enough to get through it, And it was one of the most profound moments in my life when my body started shaking. And that really alerted me, I guess, the direct connection to a higher power, a source, that every religion in the world says that's who you connect with to get with what you want in life. So it was proof positive to me in my body and in every soul that I'm connected. And I believe that what I do now with people is a result of that moment, and knowing that I'm connected, and knowing that when I work with people, that level of connection is possible.